Target is firing. Thousands. But the real crisis just began. 1,000 people just lost their jobs at Target headquarters. 800 more positions disappeared before anyone could even apply. But if you think this is just another corporate layoff story, you're not seeing what's really happening. This isn't a restructuring. This is a symptom. Target isn't cutting jobs to save money. They're cutting jobs because the entire business model that made them successful is collapsing in real time. And if Target can fall this fast, no retailer is safe. Let me show you the numbers nobody's talking about. Target's stock has plummeted 65% since its all-time high in late 2021 CNBC. Read that again, 65%. This isn't a correction. This is a free fall. In 2025 alone, Target's stock has dropped 30%, making it among the worst-performing companies in the S&P 500 CNN. While the broader market celebrated gains, Target shareholders watched their investments evaporate. But stock prices are just the surface. The real crisis is what's driving them. Target reported first-quarter net sales of $23.8 billion, a 2.8% drop from the same period last year, the Cincinnati Herald. They've now experienced 4 years of roughly stagnant sales, CNBC. 4 years, not quarters, years. This isn't a bad quarter. This is a company that stopped growing entirely, and it gets worse. Store traffic at Target has declined year over year nearly every week since the week of January 27th Retail Brew. People aren't just buying less. They're not showing up at all. The lifeblood of retail, foot traffic, has hemorrhaged for months straight. When customers stop walking through your doors, you don't have a sales problem. You have an existential problem. So why is this happening? Target's new CEO has an explanation. In his memo announcing the layoffs, Michael Fidelka wrote, "The truth is, the complexity we've created over time has been holding us back. Too many layers and overlapping work have slowed decisions, making it harder to bring ideas to life." CNBC translation: "We built a bureaucracy so bloated that we can't function anymore. But bureaucracy doesn't create itself. This is what happens when a company optimizes for looking busy instead of delivering value. When meetings replace action, when hierarchy replaces speed, Target built a corporate structure designed for stability in a world that now demands velocity, and velocity just ran them over. But internal dysfunction is only part of the story. The external environment has turned apocalyptic. Compared to retail competitors, Target draws less of its overall sales from groceries and other necessities. About half of Target's sales come from discretionary items, compared to only 40% at Walmart's CNBC. This is a fatal vulnerability. When the economy squeezes consumers, they cut discretionary spending first. That cute throw pillow from Target? Skipped. The designer collaboration dress? Maybe next year? The seasonal home decor? Absolutely not. Consumers shifted to needs-based categories, PIMPs, which means they're buying food and essentials, not the lifestyle products Target built its brand around. And here's the brutal part. Target can't pivot. Their entire identity is built on being the upscale alternative to Walmart, the place where shopping feels like self-care instead of a chore, the retailer that makes you feel good about spending money on things you don't strictly need. But when discretionary income disappears, that identity becomes a liability. Walmart sells what people need. Target sells what people want. And right now, people can't afford want. The competitive landscape makes this even more dire. Walmart's shares are up about 123% in the past 5 years, compared to Target's decline of 41% during the same time period CNBC. Let that sink in. While Target collapsed, Walmart soared. Same industry, same economy, opposite outcomes. This isn't about market conditions. This is about who adapted and who didn't. Walmart invested billions in e-commerce, matching Amazon on delivery speed while maintaining price leadership. They turned their stores into fulfillment centers, reaching 90% of the U.S. population for next-day delivery. They built a third-party marketplace that competes directly with Amazon's. They moved fast, spent aggressively, and captured market share from everyone, including Target. Target tried to keep up. Digital sales rose 4.3% year-over-year CNBC in their most recent quarter. Sounds good, right? Wrong. That's growth in a category that's expanding rapidly industry-wide. They're gaining absolute numbers while losing relative position. It's like running faster but falling further behind because everyone else is sprinting. And Amazon? Amazon didn't just compete. Amazon rewrote the rules entirely. They trained consumers to expect two-day shipping as standard. They made price transparency instant and brutal. They created a marketplace so vast that if Target doesn't carry it, Amazon probably does. Amazon still leads in tech, market share, and variety cleverance, maintaining dominance through continuous innovation that retailers like Target simply can't match. But wait, there's more. And this is where the story gets truly ugly. Target made a decision earlier this year that ignited a firestorm. The retailer retreated on its diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, CNN. They had built a reputation as a strong corporate supporter of DEI initiatives. Then they walked it back. The response was immediate and devastating. A 40-day consumer boycott led by a Georgia megachurch pastor began, protesting Target's rollback of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The boycott now has more than 150,000 participants, Straight Arrow News. Consumer groups organized, social media exploded, and most importantly, people stopped shopping. Target said its move weighed on sales, which have fallen for 3 straight quarters, CNN. 3 straight quarters of decline directly linked to a single decision. This wasn't just a PR problem. This was a business-destroying choice that alienated a significant portion of their customer base. And here's the trap. Reversing course now looks weak, but staying the course keeps bleeding customers. They're stuck. The CEO tried damage control. Cornell acknowledged the backlash, saying, "We are not satisfied with current performance, and know we have opportunities to deliver faster progress on our roadmap for growth." The Cincinnati Herald. But this is corporate speak for, "We have no idea how to fix this." Acknowledging problems without solving them doesn't restore confidence. It confirms fears. Meanwhile, the holiday season looms. Retail Super Bowl, the quarter that can make or break the entire year. And Target is entering it wounded, understaffed, and with plummeting traffic. The retailer announced the cuts as it nears a leadership change, with Michael Fidelka set to succeed Brian Cornell as CEO in February CNBC. So they're doing mass layoffs weeks before the holidays while transitioning leadership. This is like changing pilots during turbulence. Let's talk about what these layoffs actually mean. The eliminated roles are a combination of about 1,000 employee layoffs and about 800 positions that will no longer be filled. Together, they represent an approximately 8% cut to Target's corporate workforce, CNBC. 8% gone. That's not trimming fat, that's cutting into muscle. And here's the detail that should terrify every employee. Those in leadership positions were 3 times more likely to be laid off than other employees, Fox Business. Leadership, the people who know how the business works, the institutional knowledge, the decision makers, gone at 3 times the rate of everyone else. This creates a paradox. Target says they need to move faster and reduce complexity. So they fire the people who understand the complex systems and make the decisions. What do you think happens to speed when the people who know how things work disappear? It doesn't improve, it collapses. But here's what nobody's saying. Target's crisis isn't unique. It's predictive. What is happening to Target is the future facing every retailer who hasn't fundamentally transformed their business model. The retail apocalypse isn't coming. It's here, and it's accelerating. According to CoreSite research, more than 7,300 stores shuttered their doors in 2024, marking a 57% increase from the previous year. This surge in closures is the highest since 2020, the National Desk. Let me repeat that. A 57% increase in 1 year. Among the hardest hit were Family Dollar, which closed 718 stores and over 1,000 Walgreens and CVS pharmacies. Big Lots saw 600 locations close, while Party City announced the closure of all 700 of its stores, the national desk. This isn't isolated failures. This is systematic collapse. The business model that worked for decades is dying, and it's dying fast. Why? Because the rules changed completely. E-commerce now accounts for over 25% of U.S. retail sales and growing. That's $1 in $4 spent online instead of in stores. Every percentage point shift online means less foot traffic, which means less impulse buying, which means lower sales per square foot, which makes physical locations unprofitable. It's a death spiral with mathematical certainty. Amazon and Walmart understand this. That's why they're not just retailers anymore. They're technology companies that happen to sell products. Amazon and Walmart are spending billions building the future of commerce through vast investments in infrastructure and technology PYMs. They're using artificial intelligence for inventory management and personalized shopping. They're building delivery networks with drones and autonomous vehicles. They're creating retail media platforms that generate billions in advertising revenue. Target is firing people to reduce complexity. One company is building the future. The other is managing decline. Guess which one survives? Here's the fundamental problem Target faces. They're trapped between Amazon and Walmart with no clear differentiation. Amazon owns convenience and selection. Walmart owns price and accessibility. What does Target own? The vague idea of being nicer than Walmart? That worked when consumers had disposable income and valued experience. Now they want cheap and fast. Target offers neither better than the competition. Target expects annual sales to decline this year, CNBC. They're not projecting recovery. They're not forecasting growth. They're expecting to shrink. When a company's official guidance is, "We'll be smaller next year," that's not a plan. That's surrender. And the market sees it. Investors aren't stupid. They know that declining sales, falling traffic, leadership chaos, cultural boycotts, and competitive pressure don't reverse easily. That's why the stock keeps falling. Every analyst who still rates Target as buy is either lying or delusional. This company is in crisis, and crises don't resolve through incremental adjustments. Let's examine what Target would need to do to actually survive. First, they'd need to completely reimagine their value proposition. The upscale Walmart positioning is dead. They need to become something genuinely different. Maybe hyper-local, maybe experiential, maybe subscription-based. But different, distinctive, defensible. Second, they'd need massive technology investment to compete on e-commerce and supply chain, not incremental improvements. Billions of dollars in infrastructure to match what Amazon and Walmart have already built. Do they have that money? Do they have that expertise? Does firing 8% of corporate staff suggest they're about to embark on massive investment? No. Third, they need pricing power they don't have. Profit margins were pressured by higher markdown rates, cancellation costs for purchase orders, and customers buying more merchandise in lower profit categories, CNBC. They're discounting to move inventory while costs increase. That's the margin squeeze that kills retailers. You can't discount your way to prosperity when Walmart can always go lower. The harder you look at Target's situation, the worse it gets. Every problem connects to 3 other problems. Every solution requires resources they don't have or capabilities they lack. And time, the one resource that might allow gradual transformation, is running out as competitors pull further ahead. Let me show you how dire the competitive gap has become. By the end of 2023, Amazon accounted for 10% of all U.S. retail sales and 4.4% of total consumer spending, while Walmart captured 7.3% of U.S. consumer retail spending, PIMTs. These two companies control massive and growing shares of all retail activity. Target's share is shrinking. The gap isn't closing, it's widening. Here's what's going to happen next. Target will have a mediocre holiday season. Not disastrous, not great, just okay. They'll issue guidance in January that disappoints. The stock will fall further. They'll announce more restructuring, more layoffs. Maybe they close some stores. They'll talk about focusing on core strengths and strategic priorities. And none of it will matter. Because the problem isn't execution. The problem is the business model itself is obsolete. You can't fix obsolescence with better management. You can only delay the inevitable. This marks the first major round of layoffs in a decade for Target CNBC. A decade. They went 10 years without major layoffs, which means they went 10 years without serious restructuring, which means they went 10 years getting progressively less efficient while the world changed around them. And now they're trying to catch up in months to changes that took years. It won't work. The retail industry is sorting into winners and losers, and that sorting is nearly complete. The winners are Amazon and Walmart, plus niche players with genuine differentiation like Costco. The losers are everyone trying to be everything to everybody, which includes Target. The middle is collapsing. So what should you do with this information? If you're a Target employee, start looking now. Update your resume. Network aggressively. Don't wait for the next round of layoffs. They're coming. If you're an investor, the writing is on the wall. This stock has further to fall. And if you're just a consumer watching this unfold, understand what you're seeing. The death of mid-market retail happening in real time. The comfortable middle ground where most Americans shopped for generations is disappearing. Target isn't firing thousands because they want to. They're firing thousands because they're desperate, and desperation rarely leads to salvation. The real crisis isn't the layoffs. The real crisis is that this might be just the beginning. You've just unlocked a new way to see the world. Join us at ChremaDynamics, where science meets wealth. Subscribe, leave your thoughts below, and let's keep questioning everything that moves our world.